I introduced you to Ella, Maesepp and Jayden Gunn in the very first session so that you could get to know them, and that was on the announcement that they will be wrapping things up. So can you put your hands together for our next geners, Ella, Maesepp and Jayden Gunn from Intrepid Landcare. Welcome, team. Away you go.
Oh, I'll go first. Well, g'day everyone. So the 2022 Landcare Conference has maintained the theme that it picked during Landcare Week, diversity. We've heard from people from all over the country and even extending internationally through Global Landcare, who was helping disadvantaged communities by providing them with the skills to care for each other and their environment. We have also had the best representation of First Nations people and culture that I have ever seen at a Landcare conference, which I think is fantastic. Intrepid Landcare, who I'm representing today, partnered with Landcare Australia to deliver the first ever NextGen Landcare Forum on Tuesday. And you got to hear from one of our speakers, Spencer. Now, he's an 11-year-old standing up against people threatening the thing that he's most passionate about, a population of glossy black cockatoos on the Sunshine Coast, which also happens to be my favourite species as well. How incredible is that an 11-year-old is standing up to all those people for the thing he is most passionate about? I can comfortably say that even though he's 11 years old, I really look up to him. To be given the opportunity to give young people like Spencer a voice and a platform to share their story is why I keep coming back. I can't get enough of it. Landcare has given myself so much, and at Intrepid Landcare, our mission is to share that experience with others and to show young people how meaningful it is to give yourself to something so much bigger than you or I. To make a positive change in our communities, environments, and our farms. I want you all to just take a second, look to your left, look to your right. For those of us joining us online, just envision your Landcare community. Now I want you to just take pride in the things that you do. Yous are all my heroes. Landcare has supported me in achieving my dreams. I never went to university. I was a young person who was armed with the skills and experience to achieve my wildest dreams. I now work for BirdLife Australia, and I couldn't have done that without the support of all of you. Landcare supports their communities, their environments. We secure the future for our flora and fauna and our agricultural industries, and we now have started taking the succession of the next generation seriously. Support, security, succession. Doug Human and I had a really good discussion about these three words, and you may have heard him speak about it today. We as Landcarers give so much, and I think we deserve a little more of what we give. So I finish, you may remember that we had to give a pledge. So I'm requesting a pledge. I would like to see more support from our government to do the things that we do so well. I'd like to see more security for our coordinators. Many of you are working 60 hours a week on a 30-hour wage. And more of both support and security for our young people out there ready to take action and make change. Support, security, and succession. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to start saying thank you, Jayden. It has been amazing working with you. I'm now the old person. I know we're not supposed to say that, but I'm wearing that hat with pride, and it's been lovely to have this experience with you. This is my 5th National Landcare Conference, my 2nd one here on beautiful Gadigal country, and I do thank you for the welcome we've had to this place. And after 5 National Landcare Conferences, what I can say about this one is the same theme keeps coming back, and that is that our people are our greatest asset. I am continually, and this conference again, inspired, amazed by the knowledge, the dedication, the commitment of our people. They are our asset. And I think within this organisation, within Landcare, we value each other really well. We value our First Nations people, we value our facilitators, we value our farmers, we value our volunteers. And I was so thrilled to hear words like a sense of belonging coming from the young people. After my struggles of trying to be an environmental young person in the 90s, to see that that space has been achieved, it's a wonderful place to have got to. And I'm really proud to have seen that. The other one about this conference is this has been the most collaboration I have ever seen with our First Nations people. And I think that is a huge step forward. However, there is something that after 5 National Landcare Conferences, I am still angry about. I am still frustrated about. And that is, although we value each other so well, why aren't we being valued as a collective for the incredible work we do across Australia by our funders, our resources, and our government? Why are we still having to fight for that? However, this time round I have been buoyed a little bit, to see things like the Parliamentary Friends of Landcare, to see things like the new book that was launched. And as Andrew Stewart said, we've got the new rewrite of the NLP next year and the opportunity that could be for us. You know what else? The last couple of years has been COVID. And I think some things we really have learnt, not just us, the Australian community, is that value of local community and local connection. We suddenly learnt to value our local truck drivers, our shopkeepers, all those local people. And I think this is an opportunity for us to tap into engage into the broader community, because that's what we've always done. We've valued local people, and that's one of our skills. Now, I have to say my quote of the conference, I have to attribute to Pam Robinson yesterday with the sausage-led recovery. But quite frankly, almost anything is better than a gas-led recovery, isn't it? Because we've got to stop burning fossil fuels. And that presentation by Mark Howden yesterday, his keynote on climate change, was terrifying and powerful. But you know something is different from previous conferences I've noticed? We finally said the word Voldemort. Every other conference we've talked about climate change as something in the future that we need to worry about or prepare about. And this is the conference where we said it is real and it is happening and it is impacting us now. And there is urgency about that. And I think that vulnerability and that honesty about what we are facing, and so many of us are frontline of that, is actually a really great opportunity for a new courage and positive actions. And we saw Penny Wensley talk about how now soil was being seen through a larger lens than just that of agriculture. And Elizabeth Goodfellow from Landcare yesterday said in her session that we don't need to wait for the science to get better because there's enough there now. And this new courage of the individual, I think this year, just looking at the federal election we just had, what doesn't matter what side of politics you were on, that was an unprecedented result. I've never had such an exciting election night watching that. So many Australians learnt the power of the vote. For the first time, I think, so many people actually stood up and voted for what they believed in instead of just, oh, well, we might as well vote for the major parties because it always happens, or I'll vote for the same guy I've always voted for. People stood up and we saw the power of collective action. And I think so many of us are often disempowered because what can one person do? And we saw Australians, I think, learn the power of an individual. And I feel there's a new energy and a new hope with the new government, and it was great to see Tanya Plibersek here this morning. And I think getting a bit of traction at that large scale is going to help empower people more as well. Claire O'Rourke yesterday with her presentation, she said we don't need a Hollywood hero out the front. And I really liked that. You know what? It's interesting, we didn't actually plan this, but we've said the same thing. Here's the heroes. But, as Tess Greaves also said, we need to invite people along. Those people who've suddenly had the confidence to use their vote, give them the confidence to use their power, whether it's weeding the reserve down the end of the road or something else. Invite them along to this hero world that is our Landcare. Fisher, I remember at the Adelaide National Landcare Conference, I'm thinking it was 2008, was anyone there? Oh, 2010, there we go. I knew it was before I had children, that world. Tony Burke was the Minister for Environment at the time, and he addressed us. And what he said has stuck with me, and it seemed to have come through again and again this conference. And what he said was the questions keep changing, but the answer is still Landcare. Thank you.
Nailed it.
I can breathe again.